Hey guys, what is up? It is Sports Rants with Abby and friends. Abby's not here, so I'm taking over the gig today. To my left or right, depending how we were sitting, is Guy, and under me is Dayo. How we doing, fellas?
Good.
Feeling good.
So we're gonna talk a little bit about these NBA playoffs. We got some NFL stuff, especially with the schedule getting dropped like an hour and a half ago, which half that shit gets leaked out, right? I mean, we already kind of knew about the big games, but we got the full spectrum of all our teams. But now, I don't know. What do you guys want to do first? I'm just a guest today, so what do you want to do first, guys?
I'm ready to rant.
All right, so you know what? Let's well first. Can we also say happy trails to Matt Carpenter, baseball player, played for Yankees, Cardinals, amongst some other teams. Called it a career today. So let's say farewell to him. Happy trails. Had a heck of a career. Not a Hall of Famer, but it's still a heck of a career. I think somebody's trying to break into my house. They have a key. All right, and it's my daughter and her boyfriend. They're here. Anyway, let me tell you something. This guy, really nice guy, I thought, right? A little bit of a slug. And I'll tell you why. He's a big movie buff, but the one of these movies that he's never seen is what movie? Off camera, say it. Casablanca. He has never seen Casablanca. Now you gotta be, if you're a movie buff, you have to have seen Casablanca. Have you guys seen Casablanca yet?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. They've seen it. They're not movie buffs. They're just guys like myself. but we've all seen it because it's a great movie. So he promises all week, we're gonna watch the movie Wednesday. We'll watch it Wednesday. We're gonna watch it Wednesday. I said, all right. You know what? All right, I gotta produce a show at 9:30, but I got all the afternoon ready. I'm all set up. I got the couch ready. I got my blanket ready on the couch. I'm good to go. He comes over and he goes, oh, by the way, I can't do it. I gotta go. I got tickets to a movie that I forgot about. And what movie did you guys go see? Hurry Up Tomorrow. I never even heard of this crap. I think it's the weekend.
It's Coach Bill.
And let me tell you something else. We'll get to the sports in a second, guys. But let me tell you what else they just did. They walk in with Portillo's cups. I didn't even get a text or a call saying, "Would you like some Portillo's?" And let me tell you something. My daughter knows I love Portillo's because when we first moved down here to Florida together, when it was our first meals together, Portillo's, and I loved it. Jesus Christ, guys. I mean, I got it off my chest, so I do feel a little bit better. Now beat it. All right, guys. All right, so let's get into my Knicks, I guess, tonight. Not doing what they need to do, spit the bit. Let's get into some Knicks basketball right now, some Knicks Celtics, and then we'll get into you can believe what you want, but what happened in the NBA yesterday. We'll talk about that. And I think everybody knows this. You guys are smiling. You guys know what we're going to talk about. But all right, so now coming into this game, Guy, did you feel like this was a win tonight?
Not for the Knicks.
I thought that they had a chance tonight, capitalizing off like the injury. Just stick the final nail in the coffin, just get him out of there, right?
I thought, you know what? And God bless the Celtics, right, for playing tough, sticking tough, right? I kind of thought this would be one of those games where they're going to do one of two things. They're either going to come out like gangbusters or they're going to come out flat, meaning they're going to rally around the injury, or that injury is so tough to kind of get past that it's just going to be totally demoralizing. So obviously they did the former, and they came out and they're playing tough, hitting their threes. Derek White's having a good game. Hauser's hitting some shots. So yeah, it doesn't look good for the Knicks. Obviously, it's like about 4.5 minutes left. The Knicks are down like too much. 24 points.
I was gonna say.
Let me tell you something. I wasn't paying attention for 1 second. I got up. I had to go do a couple things. Came back and I didn't have my glasses on. And I thought they were down 9, but it turns out they were down 19. So I was like, all right, we're in this. And I was like, oh wait, we're down 19. I'm sorry. When I put my glasses on, I realized the score. So Dayo, you didn't think that you obviously thought the Celtics were going to come out like on fire tonight. So what was it that you thought? You thought they were just going to rally around the injury? You thought the home court? What was it that you thought?
I feel like they were gonna give the Celtic fans some hope, but I feel like the Knicks are just not playing hard tonight. They want to go back home and win in front of their crowd. So
which is
kind of
dangerous.
like yeah, it is. It is.
It's dangerous. You never want to leave that up for chance. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
especially with that team like the Celtics. But I mean,
We'll see, man. We'll see. It's not like they're not even. It's not even like they're really doing anything out of character, not playing well. They're just getting outplayed right now. The Celtics hitting their shots. What do you see happening right now, Guy? Like, did you like? You obviously thought the Knicks had a shot tonight. Was that because it's one of those things where it's like the Celtics were going to be pretty much like out of it?
That, or I thought that the Knicks were going to step up and be like, you know what? Let's not play around. Let's get them out of here. Let's focus on just finishing the series. Because like getting that fourth win in a series is really tough.
that's crucial.
Yeah.
Like the Celtics are not only desperate, but like they're like he said, giving their fans hope, but
Mhm.
playing for pride. They're the defending champions. Derek White, well schooled from Spurs basketball, is not going to take any plays off, and like he went off today from the 3-point line. So, kudos to them for showing something. They might not win the series, but they showed they had guts and represented themselves well.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I just realized?
But what if they do come back?
There you go. If they do come back, let me tell you something. The suicide rate's gonna go up in New York. I got that. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. You know what? Like I know I have a lot of friends that are Celtics fans. It's gonna be. I'll have to quit my job, man. It's gonna be so unbearable. It's gonna be so unbearable. I do want to shout out Buff in the house. You guys you can check him out on the channel as well on Prop Stars. Buff's in the house checking in. Johnny Boy in the house. How you doing, my man?
9 games.
Yo, we're gonna get to the Jets in a minute. We will get to the Jets, I promise. Listen, 9 doesn't sound great, but if you're a Jet fan for the last few years, that's
exciting.
like, yeah, it's exciting. That's exciting. It's exciting. So that's fantastic. All right. So you know what? Can we, before we get into the other games, I know they got a big game on after the Knick game. Can we please talk about what occurred yesterday, which makes the NBA seem more of like a fictional novel than it is really a sport? Because does any of us really believe? Do any of us really believe that those ping pong balls came out the way they did for those draft picks? Like, Guy, you're a Spurs fan.
Yeah.
Did you think that they were getting the second pick? Like, do you even think, all right, that's a little home cooking for my Frenchman?
I thought that they might have we had 2 lottery picks. So one of them landed in the top 4. I think we had like the 8th best odds for that pick. And when I saw that we had top 2, I was like, whoa. We're still going to get a solid player, even if it's not Cooper Flag. But, I mean, they definitely pulled strings. The NBA kind of like took care of them for sending Luka to the Lakers. And, you wash my hand, I wash yours kind of thing. And, they have the first pick in the draft. I mean, we benefited from it, too. I'm not going to sit here and lie. When we won the lottery, I knew Wemby was coming. I was like, yo, this is us.
You know what? I feel like they got hooked up when it was Wemby's turn because the Spurs needed somebody. Wemby was the Spurs fan. They have they had like the big team in France. That seemed like home cooking to me. You look back at what happened when they traded AD to LA from New Orleans. LeBron needed his Robin. He's in the prime of his career. Let's trade him to LA. Don't worry, New Orleans. We're going to make sure you're taken care of. You're going to get the number 1 pick. Cleveland. Listen, LeBron needs to get to a better market than Cleveland. He's going to go to Miami. Don't worry, Cleveland. Just let it go. Just let it happen. We're gonna get you the number 1 pick. Unfortunately, that was Anthony Bennett. And then we go. Shout out to Anthony Bennett. I don't know where he is right now. And then what was the one with the Clippers? They needed to put a big star in LA for the Clippers because the Clippers were on a come up. They had Blake. Mm-hmm. They had Blake. What was his name? Blake Griffin. So they needed to send CP3. Don't worry, we're gonna give you the number 1 pick too. Like it's time and time again. Listen, I'm a Knicks fan. Even I know that sending Patrick Ewing to the Knicks was probably fixed. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, does it cheapen the game to you guys? Like, Dayo, does it cheapen the game? Or are you just saying, hey, it's the cost of doing business?
I don't know how to look at it, but I feel like they took the fun away from the game by doing so, you know? I don't know. That's just how I look at it. I don't really go in too much into it, but I mean, it's rigged. Like, we could tell. Really, I mean.
Look, I get it. They're trying to incentivize not tanking.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, the Utah Jazz or Washington Wizards didn't win the lottery, but they would have messed that up anyway. So I think they want to protect like their brands because it's like an entertainment business at the end of the day, besides a sport. So, like, you know, Dallas has been a pretty mid to big size brand. So like. And they have, you know, Kyrie, AD. If they're healthy with Cooper Flag, they're a contender.
You know, I agree. I agree. But you know what? To protect the brand, like, it's got to be on the level, man. Like, otherwise, what are we doing? Otherwise, it's WWE. You know what I'm saying? And I love the WWE. Exactly, don't get me wrong. Yeah. I wish Roman Reigns was around more, man. I want to see him spearing people and acknowledge and having people acknowledge him. I'm all for it, man. But like, that's what it becomes. And you lose me a little bit there. Like I said, WWE. Well, I still watch it. Yeah, I still watch it, knowing that, you know, it is what it is. No. NBA, yeah, I guess I would still, but like it would take a lot away from it on me. You know, do I think they manipulate games? No, but I think they do manipulate things like this. And listen, it's one of those things where if they just let it play out, and here I look at it this way: just get rid of the. Let people, if they want to tank, let them tank. If they don't want to sell any seats for the last 20 games of the season, 30 games of the season, that's on them, man. Like, if they want to tank and ruin and placate to the, you know, or lose some of their fan base, then that's on them. My thing is they tank anyway. People tank anyway to get a better shot at the number 1 pick. So what's the difference? Just get rid of it. It's not an excuse for tanking. I know the guys on Rookies of the Year, they had a couple of good ideas. Either use what the WNBA does, where they take the total of 2 years and put it into it, so it's over a course of 2 years, or do it where only the top or the bottom 4 teams actually get to do it. Otherwise, you just go from 5 on. That I'm fine with that. Either way, what we're doing now is not working, and something needs to be changed. Something needs to be changed because it's ridiculous. I went all these years as a Knicks fan. New York's a big market. You couldn't give us. You want to fix it? You couldn't give us one guy all these years. We couldn't get one guy. You know, the closest we got was Porzingis, and Porzingis he's number 3 guy right now on a team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah, man. I don't know. If there's a way to fix it, I would just say just let people tank. You know, if they're tanking anyway. It doesn't matter. Let them tank. Mm-hmm. Just play it however it goes out. If a team wants to get up there and have 4 wins all year, hey, that's on them. You know what I mean?
Still making money, bro.
Still making money. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Let them embarrass their franchise if that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
You know. And do we think Flag is the guy? Like, Flag guy is it him?
I mean, he's the consensus number 1 prospect coming into the draft. So yeah, like Dallas is definitely taking him. So the discussion starts at number 2. So you got the 2 Rutgers boys, Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper. So
I like Dylan Harper, man.
Me too.
I'll tell you what. It's, you know, listen, am I trying to say Flag is Hansborough? No, I'm not trying to say that. But, you know, but lot of comparisons. And I'll tell you what, I do love Dylan Harper. You have a sports question. How many A's to lead? Now I'm gonna, Jacob. I'm going to assume this is probably an out-of-pocket answer, but go ahead. Say what is it? Tell us how many they have destroyed. Let's see what he has to say. Dale, who are you going? Are you going Flag? Is Flag the obvious answer for you at number one?
Yeah, I mean, you have to take him with Dallas. I mean,
now, or there's a lot of rumors that you might see the trade with them and Milwaukee for Giannis, the Greek Freak. Would you do that, or do you say, hey, you know what? Because I personally, if I like the guy I see at number one, I'm staying at number one. I'm not trading because you know what?
Right.
I think one of the reasons why they traded Luka to LA is obviously they wanted to start with to pair with LeBron, also to be the guy that takes over after LeBron's gone and be the face of the
Lakers
of the Lakers and basketball.
Right, basketball.
If I'm Dallas, I'm also looking at like, okay, I get to save some money now because that guy's getting a lot of money, and I still have a decent product with Kyrie when healthy, AD when healthy. We got some of these guys, Klay Thompson, a lot of ifs because they got a lot of guys that get injured, that are injury prone. Which the Greek Freaks had some injury issues over the past few years. Do I want to get younger and lower my what it's going to cost me to pay these guys by bringing in a rookie that I believe in? If I believe in this rookie, I'm not taking it. Listen, if I know he's on Anthony Bennett, if I know I got like a stud coming in, I go with that. I don't trade to Milwaukee. I let somebody else take it. And again, most teams would love Giannis. I'm sure we all would. But thinking of it like why would you trade Luka in the middle of the night like that, and then not try to like kind of bring in a nice youth movement, save some money with a nice player like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Agree or no?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jacob, I don't know all of it. I'm not sure what you're saying, my man. I'm not sure what you're saying. All right, so we're all disgusted by the way they went about that, right?
The system, yeah.
Do you want to talk a little more basketball, or should we go to football for a little bit and then come back to basketball? What do you guys want to do since I'm the guest?
Let's go to football.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Are we all happy with how our schedules played out? We got an Eagles fan here. We got a Miami Dolphin fan here. I'm a Jet fan. Does it matter? I know this. I'm also a Bucks fan. My number 2 team is the Bucks. I just got tickets to them, and I'm actually going to go see. I think it's the week 4. We have the Eagles coming down, so I'm actually going to get to see the Eagles in Tampa. So I will. I don't know if you got to try to get to that game, my man. We can tailgate
in September, right? September.
It's the 28th. The 28th. Yeah. How do you feel about your schedule? What do you see for your wins, losses?
Honestly, we got I don't want to say it's a very difficult one, but it looks fun. I mean, the first 3 weeks is going to be, actually 4 weeks is going to be pretty tough. Because the Bucks, they gave us a run for the money, as much as I hate to say it, but I mean, we're starting off with Dallas and then like Kansas City. Jeez, we're going back to the Super Bowl, so Andy Reid is going to take it out on us, but
like, oh shit.
What happened to your voice, bro?
I don't know. So I'm excited for it, though. I'm excited. I feel like we got a pretty good shot.
To a repeat?
Yeah, why not? I mean, who do I see beating us there? Let me see.
How do you feel about your quarterback situations? I mean, I know how you feel about Hurts.
Oh man, see, you're gonna get me. You're gonna get me started with Jalen Hurts. So listen, if we can contain Jalen Hurts from just making these dumb mistakes that he does, like he could sit in the pocket and make a mistake, like as well as he just wants to run whenever he wants, and it's like, stop it, bro. Like, go down your read. Look at your number 1, number 2, number 3, and then your check down, which is what Patrick Mahomes does. But this guy, he has shown before in many games that he has it. He has the arm. He has the accuracy. He's capable of leading the team, but I don't know what is up with him, that I don't know where he just wants to fit it where, he can't, or where he shouldn't, at least. So that's the only problem I have with him. He just He wants to take off whenever he wants, and it's like, bro, go down your check. You got Saquon now. We got the number 2, the second string as well. We got plenty of people for you to chuck it down. So stop it. I just he irks me. He irks me when he starts doing that. But I see us, going pretty good. Honestly, like I said, maybe Detroit and Buffalo giving us a hard time. And that's about it. Just anything else. Well, Kansas City's, but everything else is just the rivalry. Cowboys. As long as we beat the Cowboys, I'm okay.
I think in the division, you guys can go. I feel like every team in the division got a little better. Like obviously Washington's on the up. New York's gonna be, New York's a better team than they were last year. How good they are is still debatable, but they are better than they were last year. Dallas,
Giants?
No, but they're better than they were last year. That's what I'm saying. They're better than they were last year. You got to account for that line right now too, man. They got a couple of pass rushers. They got that interior line. They got. I think they picked. I like the quarterback they got is the guy I would have picked. I like Jordan.
Yeah.
Now you're not going to probably see him much this year. I wouldn't. I would let him sit back and hang out on the bench this year. But they are a better team than they were last year. Dallas is a better team than they were last year. I think. Still no running game to speak of really. But they added another potent wide receiver there. I wouldn't call the guy an all-time great or anything, but like they got a good receiver to complement CeeDee Lamb with Pickens. So I do think they're going to be better. But we'll see. We'll see. Guy, what do you think about your Dolphins, man?
As a whole, the schedule is not too bad considering. We've definitely had harder schedules, but a lot of times you might think you have an easy schedule, and then it ends up being a little bit more difficult than you thought because there's always new playoff teams every year.
Seems like it.
Yeah,
injuries happen, and that could change the whole course of the season. But the first half of our schedule, I think we could get off to a hot start. We usually do, and then towards the end, we always kind of like tailspin as the cold weather arrives.
I feel like every year it's you guys.
Yeah,
every year.
It's a cruel joke at this point. It's good teams on the road is hard to beat.
You're from New York. It's not a cruel joke. It's a funny one.
Yeah. But then we see the Jets, so it's like we got somebody that knows the pain.
It could be worse. It could be worse. Listen, man. I get it, man. I get it. What else we got in football? Anything else really come up this week? Just the schedule release, really, right?
Yeah. There's like 7 international games, so I guess they're really expanding that too, trying to get that world money.
I gave a rant about my daughter. Let me give a sports rant now because I got a little bit of a rant because I think the way they do this with the international games is completely wrong, and I think it's such an easy fix. So here's my sports rant on it, real quick, guys. All right, first of all, any league that has odd number of games doesn't know what they're doing. So the NFL is the best sports league in the whole world. Get your shit together. We need even amount of games. It's not fair for one team to have more home games than a team that doesn't get more home games, right? So here's what I wanted. Here's what I propose. If you plan on just having 17 games, which I don't think, I think they are going to 18 eventually, but right now we have 17. If you're going to stay at 18 games, you have 8 home, 8 away, 1 neutral site. Whether you're going to put that game in Tottenham, London, France, Ireland. Where else they put them in? Brazil, they got one. Put them wherever you want. Spain. Put some in the U.S. Put some in the U.S. where they don't have NFL franchises right now to test market to see if they are worthy of an expansion. Maybe see if Nashville has a stadium that I don't know if they do, but if they do, put one in Nashville. St. Louis has a stadium that can hold that can handle an NFL game. Let's put a game in St. Louis, San Antonio. There's all these places all over the world that we can have games, not just over the world, but even like within the country still that doesn't have a franchise that would love to be able to go out and see a game. Let's use the one extra game. It's not like one team's gets 9 home games and another team gets 8 home games. Now it's not fair because that's kind of it messes up. It's unfair competition. It's not fair. It's up to the schedule makers at the beginning of the year. But if you always have 8 home, 8 away, 1 neutral site game, then it's completely fair. If it's a game in England, well, both teams got to go across the Atlantic. If you know, do you know what I'm saying? So I think it makes it more more competitive, and it makes it more fair to everyone across the board. One team doesn't have less home games. I personally think that's the way it should go. I think that solves that problem to a T, and it also does what? It helps market out the sport to other places that don't have the sport right now. To me, it's a no-brainer. I don't know why it's not something that they already do, but it is where we're at. I think 9 and 8, 8 and 9 home games, home to away games is absolutely ridiculous. Any real sports league in this planet will always know you got to have an even amount of home and away games. It's got to be an even amount on the schedule. NBA does it, the NHL does it, the MLB does it. They all can figure it out. I don't know how many games the WNBA plays, but I'm sure it's an even number. I don't understand why we can't seem to figure this out for the NFL. To me, and again, it makes up more money because Jacob wants to know why I didn't mention Taiwan. Put one in Taiwan. If there's a stadium that can hold it and they want to see it, put one in Taiwan. It would be amazing. I won't go there because that's too long of a flight. But all the best. But yeah, I think that's one way to fix that whole thing as far as it being a little unfair about who gets more home wins and who doesn't. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think that would fix that whole thing. So
yeah, they I think, like you said, they're just trying to get more money by any means necessary. And they'll figure out the scheduling, numbers later.
Yeah,
I guess, but 16 was a perfect number. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think we need 18 myself, but I'd rather 18 than 17. Like if you're going to go more, all right, give me 2 more. Right. And look at it this way. You get to market the NFL to cities that don't have the experience right now every week of the year.
Yeah.
If you did it there. So either add one more game to make the competitive balance, good, or take that extra game and make that a neutral site game. And now you have so many other places to market. They don't travel every week of the year. They travel, I think, 4 or 5 weeks of the year. Maybe, or is it 7 weeks? That's not even half the season. Now you could do every game of the season. You could go market every week, could have a special game somewhere else that doesn't have NFL football right now. And again, some could be in the US because there's some cities that are big enough to get it that just don't have one right now. Again, St. Louis, San Antonio. So there are places here that we could put them at. But until then, it makes no sense to have an odd number of games. 0 sense to me. 0 cents.
Do you think that because I know MLB does like Field of Dreams, that's like in Iowa, it's in the United States, but it feels different, they should have a game kind of like that, or
they could even do something like that. I would be cool with that. It comes down to whether you want to market the sport more, which obviously they do because that's all they really do, right? They constantly are trying to market the sport. But it also comes down to, like I said, making it fair for each team to have the same amount of home games and away games and to have to travel to a neutral site. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So hold on a second. You got to lower that. These kids, man. There we go. All right, cool. Anyway, here we go. All right, so let's get into let's get back into some basketball. We got the game. It's actually going on right now. We got Golden State, Minnesota. Does Golden State have a chance without Curry?
No.
Hell no.
All right, so let me say this. In a perfect world, if they don't have Curry, but they can win, what do they have to do to win if they're not going to have Curry? If I say to you, what does Golden State needs to do this without Curry in order to win? What is this guy?
I think everybody needs to step up offensively, and that output that Curry does give you with floor spacing and points. Like, who else is going to give you that? I mean, Jimmy Butler has had some bad games. He hasn't been consistent. Playoff Jimmy, where are you?
Yeah.
And who after Jimmy Butler is really going to put up points? Like Draymond Green? Like they're a little old to be, relied on that heavily. And the Timberwolves are young and hungry. They are taking it to them and punching them in the mouth, man. And I don't think the Minnesota Timberwolves are getting enough respect, as a 7 seed doing what they're doing, and they match up well with OKC. They played them tough all year. They probably played OKC the toughest out of any team in the NBA. And, Julius Randle is stepping up, and the Ant-Man, bro, that's a quite a duo. And I don't think the Golden State Warriors could do anything really, but just try to contain him. Hope Ant-Man has an off night and try to steal a game.
Well, Dale, let me ask you a question. How different is this series if Curry's healthy the whole way through?
Me personally, I don't think it matters.
You think you think Minnesota was taking it?
No, Edwards been taking it to him. He's unstoppable. He's that guy this year, and he proved it last year as well. He's that guy. He's gonna be the face of the NBA.
And don't forget Randall. Randall has been doing stuff this year that, as a Knicks fan, I wish would have been doing the last 2 years. There's a reason why he got traded for Cat, and it's because he couldn't play like this in New York in the playoffs.
Right.
Cat might not even be a Knick if he did this the last few years in New York. So yeah, there's that. But so you're out on Curry even making a difference in the series.
Yeah, no, they don't got the team to go up against the Wolves. I mean, they would have put up a better fight, but I feel like the Timberwolves would have took them in game 6 or 7.
That's fair. All right, so let's talk about the Pacers moving past the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let me ask you guys this: Did the Pacers beat Cleveland, or did Cleveland lose to the Pacers? What do you think, Dale?
I feel like the Pacers beat Cleveland. I know, Mitchell got hurt and, they had some injuries or whatever. But, I mean, the Pacers were playing, like, really good basketball. They were playing amazing. I haven't seen the Pacers play like this maybe since, I could go back, like, when Paul George was there or even Reggie Miller. I mean, they look really good. They look good. This is the matchup I wanted to see. I know the Knicks lost tonight, but I feel like the Knicks are going to win next game. And then we're going to see the Knicks and the Pacers go at it, which I'm really excited about that. I want to see that happen. And, I just feel like the Pacers, I mean, they're a different team. They're not, they don't talk about them enough. I just feel,
Well, because they're from Indiana, who I don't even know if it's a real place.
But that's the thing.
I don't even know if Indiana really exists on a map. Like, it's there on a map, but like, is it there? Sean Omer says barely scraped by the Warriors without Curry, and we're acting like the Wolves are good. Is wild. They are good,
they
bro.
Are good.
Listen, Sean. Total respect. I know you know your sports, my man, but they are good. They did make it to the postseason. They do have a good lineup. I will say this. I do agree with you, and I don't necessarily agree with Deo as far as do I think they would have beat the Warriors with Curry? I don't think so. I think Curry. I think they would look at it a special run if Curry was available to them this series. I think playoff Jimmy would have been playoff Jimmy. I think he's kind of feeling the effects of not having that extra guy there. But that's my opinion. Respectfully, Wolves are only taking one game next round, no matter what, who they play, and they lose in 6 max to the Warriors. Yeah, I think the Wolves lose to either one of those two teams. I mean, we have time to talk about that series. Obviously,
yeah.
We got a couple weeks. We got a week or so until we got to really figure that out. So that'll be like a next episode kind of thing. But just to give a little insight, yeah. If I think either of those two teams beat the Wolves. That's my. I think so. What Guy?
I mean, it's going to be competitive though. Like, I mean, Ant-Man, the way that they play, they're just not going to lay down. Like, they're physical. They impose their style on the game, whoever they're playing against. I thought the Warriors a little too old to play against a team like that, and they wore down a little bit. and whoever they play next, they know they're in for a series. You have Rudy Gobert that if they play the Nuggets could defend, Jokic, and now it's like, the superstars going up against each other. But man, they have a chance. There's parity in the NBA now, man. And I think all the teams right now have a chance that are still in it. That like the Knicks, Pacers, Wolves, and OKC. I think they all have a fair chance to win the championship, bro. It's splitting hairs is what it is.
You didn't put the Celtics in that group. The Celtics are still alive.
Stop it.
Just saying. Don't count my chickens, they say, right? I said from minute one, Celtics in 6. I said Detroit in 6, right? And then the Knicks won. So I said, all right, well, I'm going to stick with that philosophy because I'm very superstitious with this. So I'm going to stick with that philosophy and say Celtics in 6.
Hoping that they win. Hoping that
the
Knicks
are doing well. And it got so bad to the point where if the Celtics were to win, they can't even mathematically win in 6. But if you ask me what I think, I'm still saying Celtics in 6. So that's where we're going with that. All right. Also, fun fact: Pacers are 5-0 versus Cleveland at Cleveland. They were a nightmare matchup for them. Yeah, and sometimes teams just match up a certain way.
Yeah.
Also, let's also remember too, Cleveland was banged up for a lot of the series.
They were.
Cleveland was banged up for a lot of the series, and let's face it, Cleveland is underwhelmed in the postseason the last few years. They went into that series with the Knicks 2-3 years ago, as the favorite. They should have won that series. They didn't. Knicks moved on. Last year they didn't. Then here we are now. I think they've underwhelmed, and I don't know who you blame. Is it just the way their team's constructed? Listen, they have a really good defensive player in Mobley. They got a floor general in Mitchell. They got a good coach in Atkinson. I don't know what is it. They just need more depth. I always said the Knicks got a lot of nice pieces, but one thing they need is depth. I think if they have more depth, they'd be better. I do agree with this here. They need to trade Garland. I agree. I think if you trade Garland, you can get more pieces that fit. Garland had a heck of a year. If you're gonna sell on Garland, this is the year to sell on Garland because Garland's finally kind of stepped up into the player he looks like he's gonna be. But I think if you want Cleveland to move a little further, it's not a real fit for what you already have, the other base of Mobley and Mitchell. I think Garland is the guy you move and hopefully use that to get other pieces to help this team kind of build towards the future. What's your thoughts on Garland, Dale?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, just trade him right now. He's at the highest. You could get the most you can out of the guy. So just trade him, get some picks, whatever you can out of him. Just try and get the best you can.
Here we go. Do you see what he's saying?
With the picks.
LaMelo to Cleveland gets well. You got to send more.
LaMelo.
You got to send more to Charlotte than just Garland.
They're gonna want a lot for him.
Yeah,
but that's it. I think that trade can happen.
Can he stay healthy?
If he can stay healthy, then yeah, great. Can Garland? Garland hasn't even been really healthy. I mean, let's call it what it is. So, from that standpoint, yeah, that might be a wash. But I do like the idea of LaMelo going to Cleveland and playing there, bringing his talents to Cleveland. That would fit. Guy, I don't know what you think. I think that would fit. Are there the pieces they need to move to make each other happy? Is the question.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like Cleveland needed some reliable shooters, man. Max Strus had no points yesterday.
Well, yeah, we all thought Max Strus was a better shooter because of that season where everybody looked great in Miami, and then they all came out, Vincent and Strus and all these guys that look like they're going to be like sharp shooting studs, man, came out, and then they've never been heard from since that series.
Nothing.
Man. Nothing, right? Like your team has got what Vincent was out there in LA, man. How happy you about that?
Not at all. Nothing. I mean, I wasn't happy. He didn't do nothing at all.
You could almost say Vincent who, right?
I was just about
if the Nuggets get rid of MPJ, there's like 6 teams that would drink contenders if he goes to them.
I mean, he's underwhelmed in this series.
I agree. Let's get on the Nuggets series. We haven't spoken that one yet. What are we? Where are we going with that series, guys? Guy, you go first.
I mean, I think it's a tough battle. I think they're going 7 games. Jokic has just been phenomenal. If he had just some more help, like if MJP has an MJP game, they probably would have won yesterday. But I mean, he was out there 29 minutes, only had 2 points, something crazy like that. I'm like, you are there for your shooting ability, right? You're a bucket getter, and you didn't get any buckets, and you let your team down. You can't have an off night against a team like OKC. They're going to make you pay. So, but I think it's going to come down to that game 7, man. And, the Nuggets are grizzled. They got the championship pedigree, and they're going to give, this young OKC team all they can handle. But I think OKC is going to find a way to win.
So let me ask you, Dayo, if I say Nuggets win in 7, what like kind of like we asked before, what's the thing that needs to happen in order for the Nuggets to pull this one out in 7? Who's the guy that needs to step up and be the guy
in Denver?
Yeah,
I mean, Jokic got to score 50. Michael Porter again got to score 50 because these OKC kids are running back and forth, and they're scoring. If you see, it's not just one guy; the whole team is scoring like double digits.
Yeah.
Even the bench. I was looking at the stats. I'm like, dude, like everybody is scoring and they're defending. I don't know. I like OKC, so I don't know if Denver could pull this one off. I mean, like I said, the Nuggets, Jokic got to score 50, Murray 50, everybody got to score 50. Aaron Gordon got to score 50.
Aaron Gordon's been good in spots this postseason, I thought. He's had a couple of big shots. Sean says whoever wins the series wins the title. I know.
Maybe.
But I can see why he's saying that. It's like I can see.
Like this is like
I mean,
Knicks aren't ready to win.
You trust the most, right?
Yeah, like if the Knicks get to the finals, do I trust them?
Do you?
No, not in the finals. Listen, and to say, I just Indiana. Do I trust them in the finals? No, because I always think.
Yeah.
But they're that scrappy team that always overwhelms, right? Talking about teams that underwhelm, they're always that team that plays better than you expected them to play. So nobody expected them to play this well in the postseason last year. Nobody expected them to play this well in the postseason this year. No. So it's like you're just kind of always waiting for them to finally lose, right? Until they don't. Would a healthy Curry, if they made him make it past the Timberwolves, I mean, could they do it? I don't know. He's probably right. Like that's probably the NBA championship right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Denver's got a lot of things going for them. That they are a team that's been there and done that before, relatively healthy. And then you got a team like OKC who, they haven't been there before, but they are young and they're hungry and they are buzzing around the court. And, you got maybe one of the best players in the NBA, where do you want to put SGA is up to you. I'd probably put him in a top 3 this year.
Yep.
So they're a team that could do some damage. Knicks are getting railed if they make the finals. Sadly, Pacers. All right, please leave, Sean. Please leave. The door is that way. Sam, he's right, and that's why I actually. So in the beginning of the season, my prediction was Denver versus Boston. Denver winning the title. And my other prediction that this one I know won't happen now is Tatum was going to be MVP of the season, but he's not. He's not the MVP this year. It's either going to be. It should be. It's either going to. Did they? I don't know. It's going to be. It's going to be the Jokic or SGA, right? But I did have Denver versus Boston. Denver winning it, so I might be half right. We'll see. I just think that they're that that talented of a team, and as long as you have Jokic, man, you have a far better shot than the team that doesn't have Jokic, right? Because he does everything, and yet he looks like a dad walking around with his kids at Disney World, man. He does not look like he plays in the NBA, man, with that dad bod. But God bless him. That's why that guy will be able to play till he's like 55, bro, because he doesn't have any muscles to hurt or tear. He's just like flopping around and playing well. He's got that height.
They used to say you can't pull fat, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like here's what should have happened with on the Knicks is Melo should have reached out to him and be like, all right, bro. Because they had the same kind of body, bro. Melo was flabby and stuff. Melo wasn't ripped. Melo should be like, all right, bro, how you doing it? Because Melo could one of the best scorers I've ever seen, but there are parts of his game that he lacked, right? Melo should have just went out to Jokic and said, bro, show me what do I got to do to be able to do this and be able to play for another X amount of years. So all right. So where do we stand now? Let's do this. Let's go around the league. Who are the top 4 players remaining, still standing? Not in any order. Just give me the top 4 players. Brunson's got to be a top 4 player still standing, right?
I'd say so. By the way that he's played, yeah.
So we're going to say Brunson and Jokic. I think those are the obvious ones of who's the best players playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the other 2 players that are like MVPs for the postseason candidates?
Come on.
Hey, my brother Joey D in the house. What up, my man?
Yeah. I mean, you would have to say SGA too.
Yeah, I'd say that. And Curry, but so he doesn't. Wait.
Curry.
All right, so now we found out Sean is definitely a Nick hater. Now we know Sean is a Nick hater because you don't have. How do you have Curry who hasn't played in like 3 games on that list, and we don't have Brunson, my man?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fair. Play F. Okay.
Okay.
That works. Because all right. So give me your list now with the playoffs on, bro. Because I know you probably got a good list. I know you got to say Brunson, Jokic, SGA. I'll give you that. Who's that third? Who's that 4th guy? I mean, like who's playing that well? Like this postseason. If we were gonna have an MVP for the postseason, who's that guy so far halfway through? Brunson, Jokic. Do you put Ant there?
Yeah.
Or Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
That's where I was going to go Halliburton. And Halliburton, don't get me wrong, I think he's very overrated. But when it comes postseason time, bro, we talk about playoff Jimmy all the time. But let's talk about playoff Hallie, bro, because he's a different player in the postseason. Was last year, was this year. I remember when we were playing him. The first game we had against the Pacers Knicks this year, I couldn't wait to play him and just for that back and forth with him and Brunson to continue. Mm-hmm. They had that moment in the WWE ring where Brunson was about to hit him with the chair. I couldn't wait. And then what did he do? Halliburton gets up in the MSG. What does he do? Goose egg, no points. And I was like, this isn't a rivalry. What was I thinking? This is just another guy. And so my thing is man, I didn't even keep my eyes on Halliburton for most part of the season because any guy who's any halfway decent isn't putting up a goose egg, especially when you took all that shit all season, right? Yeah. So is that for the playoffs? Give me that if that's the playoffs. Because if it's 17-5-7, he gets them when he needs to get them. I'll give you if that's low, I'll give you that. But oh well, all right. Good job on that. But again, he gets those are if it's 17 points a game he's getting, they are specifically clutch 17 points, right? Because I feel like every time there's a big basket that he made in Indiana, he's the guy that's made them.
He's the guy taking it.
Yeah, like right. Every time there's a key rebound, it's hit. Like he's been the guy. I feel like in every key moment, and that's the only reason why I look at it. Like, yeah, his numbers could be super low. I just feel like every time I feel like every time I see them make a big bucket or make a big play, it's Halliburton behind it.
Yeah, with him, it goes beyond the numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like he brings a lot of intangibles, like his leadership, and they feed off of his energy, man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's no Reggie Miller, but he might as well be like that hated pacer for Knick fans at this point, right?
It's got to be somebody.
Yeah, so I always forget, dude. You're not a Knicks fan. I just think
I'm not.
you're from Jersey. You're a Met fan. I think orange and blue, and then I'm like, oh wait, he's not a Knicks fan. He's not on my side. He's not on my side. All right, so let's get into who's the biggest disappointment. Now, again, Celtics still have some life in them left, but let's face it, they are being a little disappointing right now. Who's the bigger disappointment, Cavs or Celtics? Guy, you hit us first.
It might be a surprise. I'm going to say the Celtics. And I say because they had the bigger expectations. They were supposed to run roughshod through the Eastern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
Mow everybody down. And I think that first game against the Knicks, they kind of took the Knicks for granted. Like, oh, you know what? That first game we lost, okay. We'll get them again. And kudos to the Knicks that they took it to the Celtics, and you can't take any days off in the playoffs. You could get away with that in the regular season, but you got to go 100% all the time. And if you're not shooting, like they had the two worst shooting nights of their season, game 1 and 2, and momentum is a big thing in the playoffs.
Yeah,
they just gave it up. They gave up home court advantage, and as a defending champion, I expected more out of them. Cleveland didn't have, the defending champion cachet. They don't have a history of deep runs in the playoffs. They kind of choked in the last couple of years. So that's why I didn't say the Cavs, but the Celtics, man, I expected a lot more, at least the Eastern Conference Finals.
Dale?
I want to say the Cavs, but here's the thing. Last year, they did the same thing. They played well in the regular season and then got into playoff and kind of looked good in the first round and then tanked it. So to me, it's like the Celtics. I mean, you have, what everybody seems to keep saying, that Jason Tatum is the best thing out there. You got Jaylen Brown. You got a squad in there to get, and blow the lead in 2-3 games the way they did. That's crazy to have that many stars, that many great players, because, I mean, the whole starting lineups are great. And to blow that lead in, 2-3 games and then, lose Jason Tatum and be in this position against the Knicks?
Of all teams.
Of all teams, the Knicks. So it's like, yeah, to me, I want to say the Cavs, but I'm more disappointed in the Celtics.
Yeah. Sean Overman makes a good point. Celtics are still in it. But, I mean, I think we're assuming they're not for like another couple of days, right? Like, I think we're all assuming that game 6, that's it. So, Sean, do me a favor. Fast, get the time machine. They lose game 6, season's over. Do you still put the Cavs above the Celtics? I want to know your opinion on that. We gotta get Sean on the show, man. Sean's gotta have his own show because Sean has got some good opinions.
Bring him in.
Whether I agree with him or don't agree with him, he's got a lot of good opinions. So I've known Sean for a minute now, and he's definitely knows the sports, bro. But I'd like to know, like, I get why he says it can't be the Celtics right now because they're still alive.
Yeah,
right?
They're still in it.
There's still blood in the veins.
I get it.
But we don't really think there's going to be that much longer. We all, they were supposed to lose tonight and by 20 plus.
Yeah, but they played at home, so it's like, I don't know.
And I also think there's like, the Knicks were kind of like, and this is the Knicks this is a downfall. This could be a downfall for the Knicks. They didn't really put that foot on the throat, right? Like they should have.
That's what. Yeah.
And they really should have, because let me tell you something. They lose game 6.
Oh yeah. Here's the thing.
It's gonna feel like Yankee fans. For Yankee fans, it's gonna feel like almost as bad as 04, bro.
Here's
almost
the
as bad as
thing.
04. And maybe worse for wait. Let me just say this one point real quick. Maybe worse than 04, because this is a series we went into not thinking we could win. So to give us this a bit, like with the Yankees, all right, we thought we were gonna win, we didn't, and that sucks. And be down, be up 3-0. But in this situation, we went into a series thinking we had no shot at. And you dangle that piece of cake in front of us, and we get it. We're just about to put it in our mouth, right? Because we didn't realize this could happen. And then you yank it away from us, and then you're like, do you know what I mean? Like, does that make any sense? Like, to think you have something or that you have no shot at it. It's like meeting the prettiest girl in the world, right? And asking her out on a date. And she goes, "Yeah, let's go out on a date." And then everything's great. You're gonna get married, and then she goes, "I never really liked you. I don't even like you." Do you know what I'm saying? Like you thought you had it. It's that bad, man. So seriously, they're not going any further. Tatum is out there done. That's right. And Tatum's gonna be gone. Listen, for you Boston fans, Tatum's gone for
next season as well.
Next season too. So I'll see you in 18 months, kids. You know what I mean? Have fun. Woo. Can I tell you guys about the shirt I want to make? I want to make this t-shirt, and it's gonna say "Luck of the Irish." And I know Joey D, you're a Celtic fan because you follow a couple of Boston. Joey D is also a San Francisco 49er fan. He's also a Boston Red Sox fan and Celtics fan. But here's the maybe you'll want to get one of these shirts. I want to get the shirt where it says "Luck of the Irish." It's got the logo, but instead of the leprechaun's face, it's Tatum's face, using that shillelagh cane thing that he has, right? But the leg is completely like bent, like an L. There you go. That's what I want. I want to have. I think I could sell a couple of those. But yeah, I do. I would have to say Celtics. But again, if they come back and win, then yeah, obviously that those things don't hold true. He says too soon. If you're a Knicks fan, not soon enough, man. Not soon enough. All right, let's get back to what we got on the docket today. We only have a couple things left still. Actually, no, I think we're pretty much almost at the end right now, right? I don't think we have much.
Yeah.
We do have Guy wants to, let's talk about the Knicks' chances of winning the championship to get past the Celtics. We kind of discussed it a little bit, but let's go into a little bit more depth. We don't think I think we all in agreement that they're not winning the championship, right? If they get to it, but what's the odds of them getting past the Pacers?
I mean, they have a good shot to get past the Pacers. I mean,
what do they got? Like, so we know Brunson's the guy has to make the wheels turn, right? So, but who else besides Brunson? Who's got to be that second guy to help that team get past that? Who's the next
Cat,
guy,
bro? You got Cat to be that second guy. He has to step up and be a beast. He needs to go for 30 and 15 every game, bro. Like he needs to. He likes to take games off.
Yeah,
he's a little mentally weak in the clutch moments, and he gets in foul trouble too much.
Mm-hmm.
But he needs to play smarter, stay within his strengths. Like he falls in love with the three a little bit too much, but man, give Brunson a little bit of help. I think
when he's hot from three, though, he's hot from three. It's one of those things where it's kind of like it's a risk you got to be willing to take sometimes, because when he is hitting from three. He's hitting, you're pretty, when he's locked in, you're good. And you can have a good day. But I gotta tell you, I think the guy that makes a difference is going to be Mikal and I got two guys. It's got to be Mikal and OG. I think they're the ones that got to step up, because I think you gotta watch the perimeter. You gotta be able to hit those clutch shots they do from the corners. Let me see. You know what? I'm reading it, but I should pop it up so everybody can read it. Knicks are 2-1 against the Pacers. Going to be who can stay healthy. Knicks rely a little too much on the three currently for me to say they win for sure. You know what? That's something we finally agree on. I agree with you on that. And with that, I think that's why it does make a little. With my thing is, I think it's OG and Mikal Bridges are the two guys that need to really step up in the next round. I expect. I guess it's partly because I expect Cat to do Cat things. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I expect Hart to do Hart things. I know Hart's going to be. He's going to already do what he needs to do. He's already going to. I already expect Hart to just always put up that almost triple double kind of stat. Even with them doing what they do, I still need either OG or Mikal to kind of step up and make something happen. You know what I mean? So that's my thought on it. Dale, what do you got?
I mean, I would go with Bridges as well. And look, why not have Josh Hart look like Devin White last year in the Celtics? Why not?
You mean Derek White? Derek
Yeah,
White.
Derek White. Excuse me. Yeah, Derek White. I mean, come on. I mean, why not?
I get you.
We didn't expect that last year from him.
No, but there's always a guy in the
imagine
finals
if
that pops
Josh
up. We
did
were
it.
just talking about Gabe Vincent and Strus just a minute ago. Like, now they're not that, it's not that, but Knicks are 2-1 against the wrong one. There we go. As for the Knicks going forward, they need to stop falling behind by those large amounts. That's going to be something like I'm sure there was people that watched tonight and said, you know what, we can come back, late in the third quarter, down 20. They early in the fourth, down 20. There were probably some people that thought, hey, we could come back, we could do this. It's something different than 1 and 2, and then almost 20 points in game 4. But you're right, you're not gonna be able to skip past that every time, man. It's just not the it's not a recipe for success, let's say.
Here's my thing. I have a question for you. What if the Celtics win this series, right?
They come back down 3-1.
They come back and win it, right?
Okay.
Get past the Knicks. What do you do with Tatum? Because then you see, like, he's not that guy that's carrying the Celtics. What would you do with him?
I think, so I got some Celtic fans that are feeling like the sky is falling, that are like that were texting me that night that were like, I'm getting rid of all these guys because none of them could help out. If Brown wasn't playing the way he played, the injury never would have happened, and blah blah blah, like crying, like, and I won't say who this is. It's actually another one of the guys on the channel. So he was losing his mind. Sean actually knows who it is. I don't know if he knows that conversation, but he knows who I'm talking about. He doesn't know who I'm talking about, but he knows the guy that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so he lost his mind. He was, same guy though. I was texting, like I was putting up a lot of stories. No, it wasn't TJ. It wasn't TJ. It's actually a Celtic fan. Is somebody that we work with that's a Celtic fan. Anyway, so he, I was texting him all these because listen, the Knicks stuff was all over Instagram yesterday, man. So I was just like reposting, adding to my stories, and it was Rob from Rookies of the Year, which is on Mondays at noon. Although they did a show today at 11. It was a makeup show, but typically they are on 12 at noon. So make sure you guys check them out. Rookies of the Year. So I've been playing these. I've been just putting in my stories, like from other people, just reposting and putting him and Javi, also from Rookie of the Year, is also a Celtic fan, and just tagging them into it to the point where he actually had to tell me, he's like, I blocked you, so he's like, I won't don't respond to this because you can't call me, you can't DM me, I'm blocking you. Sure enough, I go to call this guy like 10 minutes later, and it goes right to voicemail. I couldn't get him on the phone, so he blocked me for a minute. And Javi then threatened to block me, so I'm going to block you too. But anyway, so they are really upset. If any of you guys know Rob and Javi from Rookies of the Year, send them a meme that shows the Knicks beating the hell out of the Celtics. All right, do me a favor and send them something for me. I forget why we were getting on that, because I got such glee of remembering how upset they were, that now I can't even remember why I got into that whole thing. But all right, so you know what? Let's get into some rants, man. I did my rant about my daughter and about about some other stuff just before. Guy, it's your turn for a rant. Let's get a rant.
Yeah, my rant was, we touched on it a little bit before. It was just about the draft lottery and how corrupt, they kind of put the pieces together. It's not random. If they came out and just said that, look, man, this is what we're doing. Don't try to BS everybody and insult our intelligence and think that somebody doesn't have a hidden hand in where this number one pick is going. Because if it happened once, okay, but it seems to happen way too many times where it's a pattern now, and we know that it's intentional of who's getting what. Whether it be because you made a trade and now they want to give you a favor in return and give you the number one pick, or if it's just for marketing purposes, like Wemby in France growing the game. I get it. It's a business at the end of the day, and we're trying to make money, right? So they have that entertainment part of it. So, I know business isn't always fair. So they're protecting their interests. And like we touched on before, we got to have a better solution, man. I think a plan or, you lowest 4 teams play for that number 1 pick sounds like a really good idea. Or just have those 4 teams be the lottery for the first 4 picks. And then, the rest of 5 through whatever, gets randomly selected, or something like that. Whatever we have right now, it just is not fair. And if we're talking about being fair, there has to be something else that we got to do because it's not fair.
I'll tell you what, man. If you believe the draft lottery is fair and on the up and up, you probably believe we actually landed on the moon, and that didn't happen either, bro. So
I agree.
Let me say, you ever want to piss off an old white guy? Just tell him we never landed on the moon. Tell him old white men hate being told that we didn't land on the moon because they take such pride in that. That's totally different thing. Yeah, you want to talk about landing on the moon? Come see me on Pop Off. We'll talk about it. Dayo, let's hear your rant your sports rant for the week.
My sports rant is about Jason Tatum. Listen, first of all, it sucks to see a guy, with that caliber, just get hurt. It sucks. And if I'm him, I'm seeking guidance from like Kevin Durant that, suffered similar injury. If not the same. Definitely would seek that. Now, I'm pissed off because it's like, bro, the Celtics needed you. You was playing a hell of a game. And like, you got injured. Like, bro, this is why you get paid millions of dollars for this very moment. So you can actually show the world, right? Show us that you are that guy that we think you are. Because we know Jason Tatum is a hell of a player. We know that. He can score 50 points like nothing, bro, in the blink of an eye. But you fell apart. I mean, obviously you got injured. I get it. But this is why you get paid. Like, you have to train for these very moments, right? Second of all, it's like if it was Stephen Curry or LeBron, the media will be, oh my God, tearing into them so much. So why is everybody falling back on Jason Tatum and they're like, oh, poor Jason Tatum, whatever, blah, blah, blah. No, same energy that you give LeBron and Curry, you have to give it to him too because he's a superstar, right? Like, we see Jason Tatum up there with them. Even if, again, I'm gonna go back to the game. He scored 42 points. They were still down by 9 when he got injured. So I feel like you should have did more. I saw his assist. It was like 4 assists. Bro, pass the ball too. You got to score, but you got to pass the ball. I know your teammates were kind of having a shitty night game, a shitty game, but at the same time, you got to break them out of that cold streak. You have to. That's what a great player does. And I'm going to say some off-the-wall stuff here at the end. I feel like the Jason Tatum era is over. I don't see
in Boston or in general?
In general, because I don't feel like he's going to come back and be the same player. Kevin Durant came back and he's not the same player. You don't hear, he's playing great. He's going to score because that's what they do. But he's not playing like he used to play. He's not scoring the way he used to score. He's not, moving the way he used to move. Now, when you come back from that type of injury, is he going to be mentally ready? Is he going to play with fear? What's the next thing that's going to get hurt? Because, it's a domino effect. Your Achilles goes, you're playing with fear, then your ACL goes, your hip, your back, whatever, because whatever it is in your mind that you're playing, you're like, I don't want to put too much pressure. I don't want to land on this leg, whatever it is. It leads to other injuries. So, yeah, that's my rant with Jason Tatum. You got to tear his ass up too, because if they do it to LeBron and they do it to Curry and anybody else in those top 5, you got to do it to him too.
There you go. There we go. Well, guys, that's going to do it for this week's sports rant. I apologize that we did not have Abby this week. She will be back, I guess, next week. So make sure you guys tune in every 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesdays, You'll always see Day. You'll always see Guy. If you don't see Abby, you'll see me. But don't worry, you'll always see Abby. This is just she was coming into town. She just got back a little too late, so she couldn't make it. But yeah, Fridays. Make sure noon Fridays. Well, 12:15 on Fridays. You go check out the pop off. Me, Caleb Pinkett, Nigel Downer, James Woody, and then remember, you guys got Prop Stars on Monday at 10 a.m. and at 12 p.m. on Mondays. You also have the Rookies of the Year with those dirty Celtic fans. They're dirty people, the Celtic fans. Javi and Rob, and also Josh is over there. He's an OKC Thunder guy, so he's not so bad. But make sure you guys tune in to everything we got coming to the channel. There's a lot more stuff coming too as well. So just keep your eyes and ears peeled and get to know some of the new faces over here, new voices. And with that, I gotta say, I'll say peace, guys. Adios.
Peace.
Peace.